Hey there, folks. Still have a few more people joining us, as always, so we'll probably end up starting maybe a minute or so late. And just so everybody's on the same page, obviously it does say right there on the front what we're going to be talking about. Originally, we were going to be talking about just result posting in general. We've kind of pivoted that to be more applicable to the current state of affairs in terms of virtual races and virtual race results and using the postponement tool. So I will try to keep this in the same format as we've done the other Timer Tip Tuesdays, and that is I do have a slide deck. I'll likely jump off of that slide deck at some point, and then just there is a on your, I think it's on the right hand side of your screen, that you do have the ability to answer or to ask questions. So type those in as you need to. And just as another aside, and just to make sure, can you guys hear me right now? If somebody can just throw in the questions, yes or no, or respond if you don't mind. Just want to make sure that you can hear me. So not sure if folks can hear me at the moment. Didn't have any responses on that. So it seems as though my audio is working though. So, okay, well, we'll press on. Again, feel free to ask questions as we go along. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kath. Appreciate it. Okay, I knew I had somebody else ping me that said they couldn't. So yeah, it does sound like you guys can hear me. So we'll jump right in. So where do you get into your virtual race if you want to set one up? Number one, you do need to have in your race wizard, you do need to have it set up as a virtual race. So if you go into the race wizard, and again, like I said, I'm just going to jump around to hopefully make all this make sense. You do have to have the event type set to virtual race. So once you've done that, you can set up a virtual race under RaceDay tools, enhance virtual race, and set up virtual race. And what that will do is it will drop us into so RaceDay tools, enhance virtual race, set up virtual race. Oh, and the secondary thing, I'm based out of Charleston, South Carolina, and they canceled school beginning Monday, and so if you hear small voices, I do have my children at home with me, so so there might be a little voice in the background every once in a while asking a question, as I'm sure you guys might be dealing with similar hurdles. So once you get into your virtual race, enhance virtual race, you can select the event. And this is where you can go in and set things up. So once you do set up your text, if you do have the text messages set up, the disabled text messages, this removes the fees during processing if people are registering, and we'll go through that in just a minute. So we'll jump right back into the slide deck. So what is a virtual event? I think most of you guys know. Oh, has the webinar started? Give me one sec. So it seems as though are the slides changing? Did something change for you guys now? I apologize. GoToWebinar is it was a little bit slow yesterday due to all the people that were likely at home. So so if somebody can just let me know if the slide has changed at this point, I would appreciate it. It's in setup mode, not presentation. Is it presenting now? I apologize, guys. I think everything's just going a lot slower. No, still not presenting. On my end, it is showing that it is presenting. Well, worst case scenario, we are recording this, and I can just go with it. We're used to adapting. Thanks, Kath. I think all of us in the past week and a half are on board with that. So if you can't see my screen, I'll try to be super descriptive about how to do everything. And then hopefully the recording is working appropriately and I can share that after the fact. If not, I'll re-record it and send it out to everyone. So step one, you do need to go into the Race Wizard, and underneath your, in the Race Wizard on step one, you will need to make sure that your event type is listed as virtual race. So that's number one. Once you've done that, you will go into your RaceDay tools and enhance virtual race, and you can go to set up virtual race. And this is where you'll set the text message keyword. You'll set up the ability for people to text in and text in their results and things like that. So and it seems like people are starting to filter through and allow people to see things. So so obviously I don't think we need to talk about why you need to offer virtual races at this point. We're in the thick of this thing, so we're trying to make lemonade at this point. So the one other tool, just to jump in on this, is the cancel or postpone race tool. So you do have the ability to choose with this tool, and this tool is listed underneath your race, cancel or postpone, and these are the options that you get. So you have set up postponement or cancellation, the decision report, look up my email report, and send email to participants. So from there, you can set your postponement date if you have a postponed event, TBD, and you can make a headline for that. The benefit there, and that we're seeing kind of across the board, is to make sure your races, and when we're talking about this, we realize that some of you are timers, many of you are also race directors and race owners, and it's been RunSignup's focus to make you the technology expert. And so a lot of your races are likely asking you questions about these. And this is why you might not own a race, but we're giving you this information in the instant that you are asked about it. Because obviously many events, nearly every event in March, most events in April, and some events even in May already are going ahead and rescheduling or going virtual. So this is part of the communication plan, and the idea behind the communication plan is so that the more you communicate with your athletes, the more understanding they are, and the more they feel vested in the success of the event. So within this, you can select an option, or you can change it to a virtual race here to allow people to select to switch to the virtual race. and then you can bulk transfer these folks in. So with this addition, this is basically what the event page will look like. And for this event, this test bib assignment race, we set it up so that it's postponed to a later date. It's TBD, and there's a test headline, a test message. They can stay in the race. They can defer to 2021. Any of these, you don't have to use these as specifically what this list says. You can change it. So for any of these, you can say there's some text already in there, but you can say switch to virtual event if you wanted to, even though there's already an option up there. And you can put in whatever you want to here and save the settings. So refresh on this and see if I can get that to pop back up again. And I just forced that pop-up to go away. But this pop-up pops up in front of everything, and people can choose what to do with a description of information. And so when they hit continue, you will able to run reports on those selections, which will help out. And I don't think any reports, well, for this one, yeah, so 2 decided to defer to, and this race was $0. So these 2 people were deferred to 2021. So you can run a report after the fact, and then you can also send an email to participants that gives the options they have. Keep in mind, you can only send this email at this point. You can only send this email once. It says this right here. So if you're going to send out this email, do make sure that all your options are in there and it is ready to go. And you can change all of this information as needed. And so again, it says, I'm sure I want to send this email to all undecided participants. So if other people have already gone in, there's 7, and it will only send it to those 75 undecided folks. And this race has only 40 people. There's a whole lot of people that have switched races, things like that. So that's what that larger number is. Let's see. So let's go back to our slide deck. So what most of you guys are interested in are the results. So this is the baseline, and I just want to point that out. This slide deck was kind of initially focused on people who maybe weren't as tech savvy as many of you are. And so you can choose to do no results in this virtual race. You can do a Google form that you distribute. You can have people email the results to you. You can have people take pictures of their Strava or what have you. But we're going to get into how to deal with the actual virtual results here in a second. So again, like if you do turn on the text results, there is money being transferred. There is a $1 charge for those virtual text results. However, if it is a $0 processing or a transfer where $0 is included, then there's no processing for that text result. Also, and again, I'm not sure if you guys can see this since people have had issues seeing the screen. So hopefully you guys can see it at this point. But if you go into RaceDay tools and enhance virtual race and the setup virtual race, you select your event, you can see disable text messages. So if you only allow emails and not text, the extra processing fee will not be charged. Now, again, if you're transferring all these folks in there, there's no processing fee as long as no money's being transferred. So you don't have to worry about that side of it. But if you are, if people are still registering and you don't want that additional processing, you just need to disable the text message options. So you can put a note in there in terms of the registration instructions. And then you do need to set up bib assignment. So it gives you a breakdown right here. You don't have to have it set up, but we highly encourage you to set up automatic bib assignment. You can also manually do it, but I mean, again, it's going to be much easier for you to set up automatic bib assignment. So in this instance, we would go to bibs, we go to assign bibs and chips, and this is the auto bib assignment, assign bib numbers at time of registration. And so we would go to the virtual race and we could do, let's say 5001, and we don't want a top end number, and we want to assign it to people who have already registered. So now if we go into our participants, we can see that these two people have bib numbers assigned. So if we go back into our RaceDay tools, you can see that notifications no longer in there about bib numbers. So the next thing you do is you set up when you want to accept race results from and to. This is a test event, so we just have it set up for the entire year. However, you'd probably say we'll want to set up race results for like a 3-day period or a 7-day period or something like that. You can select your result set. So in this case, I created a new result set and I was able to name it. So it's right here. You can set minimum and maximum times allowed. So if this is, say, a 5K, obviously we're probably not going to see somebody run sub 13:30, and maybe somebody's just out for a casual stroll, and you could set it at 2 hours if you wanted to. It might be weird to allow like a 15-hour 5K just because you wouldn't see that on a normal day. You can have it set so that you require the race director approval each time results are posted. You don't have to. If you want them just to be able to post straight up, you can take that off. And then you can also allow people to say they completed the run but not provide a time. You can also have additional, like, outside of RunSignup URLs for virtual run details, and then your messages. So, and I just pasted stuff in here just to play around. But your initial message is about it's race day. You know, the idea is that everybody's running on a certain day. And this is the text message that goes out. If you've turned off text messages, then that's not going to go out. It'll only be the email. And so then your message number 2 would be maybe how to post results. Again, these are your placeholder replacement tags. So you would just need to copy and paste this text in. I'm sure most of you have used the replacement tags within RunSignup before. So you can set up to 5 messages. So keep that in mind. And then you would save all of this information. You won't have this custom fee for registration. That's admin only. And so that would be the setup. If you do have the approval of results turned on, you will have you will need to go in periodically to approve your results, and you would select your event, and you would select, it would give you the bib, person, information, time, and you can approve everybody or you can approve each one and then approve the results. Once you do that, people's information will populate in, and again, it will give you, it looks like Steven's the fastest out of everybody that published their information. And so it'll give times here. We don't have this broken down by division or anything like that. The idea is just overall time. So we have, let's see. And then the virtual race credits are just how many people have taken. I don't think any of this is applicable at this time. So you're just going in and approving results. So let's see. At this point, are there any questions? I know some people have been texting in. Hopefully some of this has, you've been able to see it. Were you guys able to see my screen? Hopefully that it continued showing the screen. I know GoToWebinar has kind of been overloaded with all the people working from home. So let's see. Again, some of the RunSignup suggestions here are just using the virtual communities and communications to enhance your virtual race, making sure they're using the email, putting a Facebook group together, hashtagging your events. You can create Strava groups. Yeah, Kath, I can do result set. So basically what happens, and actually let me get to some of these slides. This might actually help a little bit. The reason why it says not for everybody is because it's a little bit more, there's a bit more detail. So again, like we talked about, you want to make sure your virtual race is set up under the event type. You can either do one of two things. You can have the runner self-transfer. You will need to go in and allow for transfers into the virtual event. I would strongly advise doing that at no cost to the participant. Or you can use the postponement tool and then bulk transfer. So if you want to do the participant management, and you can go into event transfer, you would set up yes, $0, allow people to transfer without paying a price difference, and save settings. Sorry, cutoff date, apologize for that. If the event, let's say the event is December 31st, so we'll set it to the whole time they can transfer. And so now people can go in and transfer as they want to. If they need to bulk transfer, if you want to find that, honestly, you can go in and just type in bulk, and you can go into bulk transfer and put in all the reg IDs, and then you select the event they're going to and put them in the new race. So those are the two ways to get people into the virtual event. Again, make sure the transfers are enabled. Make clear how to transfer. You might want to put a section on your cover page and share it on social media. So we talked about doing this already. So give me one sec. I'm going to scoot ahead for the results. So text or email results. Again, we talked about going into RaceDay tools, enhanced virtual setup, and enhanced virtual race. From here, you set up your text message keyword, and what that means, and you want to auto assign those bib numbers like we talked about it. And so you set your result posting. So if you have a 5K and a 10K, you can set this up separately. One result set for the 5K, one result set for the 10K. So when you go into this, when you go into your event, if you had two, you would select the separate event. You have the virtual 5K, the virtual 10K. So you would go in here, and to set up a new result set, Kath, all you would need to do, if you've not done anything, it's going to sit on create new result set. And you would just type in the result set name. So you could do it as virtual 5K, whatever. We can't keep using test, fun run. And so we set it to all these parameters, and then if we hit save settings, now it's a result set underneath here. So if we go in, and there are no results currently in the 2020 event, but if we go into 2020, you can see that there's different result sets. We just did that virtual 5K fun run. So nothing's in there right now because we haven't pushed any data in, but that's how it is. Awesome. Cool. Anyone else, just so you know, Kath has figured out the question thing. If you do have questions, speak up. I will try to answer it immediately. It is in the bottom right. You can type in your questions, and I'll answer that as we go. So just so you guys have an idea of what it looks like, again, we talked about setting your time limits, putting your messages in. They will opt in during registration or during their event transfer. They can go into their profile, manage registration, virtual race to opt in or report results directly. So, so as you can see, it's funny, Stinky Bickle is the name of the person in this one. So they can sign up for text messages, and then what they see. So post Bob Bickle's results, reply with format, and this is that that Bob VR1 2001, and then the time. This is showing them exactly what they're supposed to text back. So if they type in the Bob VR1, their bib number, and their time, it'll say, thank you, your time has been posted. So this is exactly what they need to be doing. It gives them a breakdown with an example of what they need to send back. And again, like we already showed you, this is what the time populates as. So just keep in mind, if they choose not just to show completion, but not posting a time, it'll say none, but it will have a completion. So let's see, what other information do we have on this? I think that covers most of it. I know that was a lot of information. Most of you guys have played with some parts of this before. If ever you have, when you get back to doing normal runs, this is a separate result set. It's not going to allow people who, like you guys, push up in normal run, like your normal publishing of results to RunSignup. It's not going to allow for you to push up these virtual results into that same result set. So just keep that in mind. Any other? Let's see. So Kat has another question. Is there a plan to tie this with Strava so that folks can automatically post via their app? Not that I know of. And I think Matt Avery's in as well. He was having some audio difficulty earlier. And he might have more information on this, but I'm fairly certain that the answer to that is, at this point at least, no. There's not a Strava tie-in. However, you can request that people verify their information by sending you an email or with a link to their Strava results. So that would
I can jump in real quick, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no plans right now to do a Strava integration. We are going to be doing some other improvements to this first. Some things that we're going to be doing first are just making it easier for users to find out how to submit their results. Right now, it's not very clear. If a race is set up for virtual and you're on your runner profile, you see your race registration, we're going to make it more highlighted so users can come in and quickly get to the form where they submit their times. So that's going to be like our first item of business in terms of new development on this, just trying to make it easier, more simple for participants to just get to that web form where they can plug in their results. And we'll look into other things after that. That's going to be one of the easiest things for us to knock out first. So we want to take that on before we go into an integration with another third-party service, which tends to take longer. So we're looking into it, but I don't see that happening right away.
No problem, Kath. So, I mean, I realize in the past week or two, a lot of things have changed for you guys. And so we're going to continue building out content. So just so that, when things get back to normal, we have ways to, answer questions and provide training for you. If you do have any interest in learning about anything in particular, feel free to shoot me an email and let me know. Or if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. My email address is crisp@RunSignup.com. And if there's no other questions, then we'll wrap it up. And we appreciate you guys joining us. All right. Well, you guys take care. And again, if you have any further questions, reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you with anything that you need. So take care and have a great rest of your day.